Well, Sturgis has ended. So we're back in Pennsylvania, and I teased you guys just a little bit with the last video with the new Honda. The new Honda. It's a 1984 Honda Sabre. And today we are looking to start it for the first time in 15 years. So this bike sat on its jack stand for 15 years in a gentleman's garage. Vietnam vet gentleman, had Agent Orange effects. That's a neurological thing, so he didn't have the strength in his legs to hold the bike safely anymore. He just knew he needed to put it up. Smart choice. And it sat for 15 years. So he put it away dry. So he drained the gas out of the tank. He put it up as well as he could, and it was maintained in his garage for 15 years, guys. So it's a little dusty. This bike has all the original plastic on it, which is just unheard of. It has low miles, and it's been 15 years. So what have I done to it since I've had it? Did the oil change, of course, and a couple other little things, plugs and oil change, and fuel filter. Redid some fuel line with that. The brakes all needed to be actuated, so I pulled all the brakes off and just kind of made them move again because they were kind of seized up. I don't know if they were seized, but they were not very responsive. So the brakes front end are working great. The brakes rear end, though, there's a little thing that I've never worked with before that just doesn't seem to be working. And I think I figured it out, but there's a little work to do on the rear brakes. But other than that, the bike looks like it's going to run. Do that, hit the sub. Let's see if this thing turns over. The gas tank that was on this had a pinhole in it. And there's a gentleman it was a buddy of mine that I have, and he is currently welding it up for me. That's being done, but I got to wait for that gas tank to get back. So right now I have this little fuel tank of mine just kind of rigged up, running this bike for now. Looks a little hokey, but she'll work. All right, let's see if she starts. Got the choke here. Ignition on. And I'm supposed to give it just a little bit of fuel. We'll see if it starts. Woo! Smoking. Not bad for a first attempt. That's a good sign. So it turned over. That's good. It's got fresh oil and everything in it. After 15 years, I don't think you can expect too much from it. It's just going to turn over quickly. I don't know. There might be something in the carbs that... Let me turn this ignition off. Might be something in the carbs that's stuck. New day. New duds. Got a fresh charge on the battery. New optimism. Renewed optimism and a fresh charge on the battery. So I have this thing sitting here overnight. Battery is topped off and everything's fresh. So we should be able to just crank it and it'll start right up, right? Got a full choke here. Key on. Let's start it up. Oh, baby. Oh, wow, the fuel just came out. The fuel just came out. These guys see this just dripping down. There's something going on with that. Well, she ran for a second. She ran. I want to do it again. Even if the fuel's leaking, I'm catching it in the pan there. But even if the fuel's leaking, I want to turn this guy over. Wow. Fuel's just coming out. Well, I do think that's going to be a carb rebuild, but you guys know what I'm saying here. I just want to see this thing run for a second. Even if the fuel pump's going to kick a little fuel out, I don't care. I have a whole tank of it. Yeah. So there's no resistance when I pump the ball. This is from an old boat gas tank, you know, and I got a primer bulb on there, so when I put the pressure to it, the gas is coming out through that overflow, and it's underneath the air filter here. It's way up in there. There's a little hose, and it's just like overfill. It's like if it gets too much into the carburetor, it just kind of dumps out through there, I think. But the carburetor should have, is that called the float? When the float goes up, it should be shutting that off, so it shouldn't be able to overflow like that. So I'm under the impression that I just need to open the carb up and just kind of move those, the bulb and the pin and the jet, I think it's called. Whatever it is, I think I just need to move it to kind of break that seal so that it's not stuck there, because it was just dry for so long that it's just kind of fused in there a little bit. I think that's all that is, but she ran. She's going to be a runner, but we still need to handle that. Should we try it once more? I kind of feel like we should try it once more. Fuel was just pouring out. Yeah. So that's where we're at. Beautiful. This one's not nearly as much though, is it? So it might be possible that, you know, one of those carbs is getting a lot more fuel than the other based on the exhaust coming out one side, not the other. I'm not a mechanic, but that makes sense to me. This is exciting, man. When you get a new bike in your life and you get to wrench on it in a little bit, this is the stuff that I feel like we're missing in biker culture is garage time. Garage time is so good, guys. It's rewarding to wrench on something and then enjoy the fruits of that labor, take it down the highway afterwards. That's a pretty amazing thing, and we're kind of missing that. I know a lot of people just ride, they don't wrench. You're really missing out on a huge part of the motorcycling culture. So a little garage time would be good for all of us. Is honest to God rice. Somebody put rice in the air box. You know, I understand like giving people a hard time. Can we not put rice in their air box? So I'll pull the carbs apart and do a full clean on them. I got two of the jets freed up, and that was what it was. They're seized, but I'm going to just pull them apart because they're really cruddy. They're really messy. So I need to pull them out and do a whole rebuild on them. It just needs it for sure. Rice. I'd like to see this thing just lift right out. Maybe out the side. I think out the side is best. Oh, nice. So there it is. That's my carbs. I can get to everything here now. It is many, many days later, guys. The carburetor was completely closed up. If you're familiar with carburetors, there's essentially jets in them. I got it cleaned out. I took that thing apart and rebuilt the thing from the ground up, if you will. So tore it apart, put it back together, and I had to put a few things in place here, but I'm about to fire this thing up, hopefully. But I have a few things to finish. I just want to make sure I finish this video with a nice solid first time running. Now, cold start on this, what it tells you to do is just put full choke and then just start it up. So I'm just going to do that. So here we go. Let's see what she does. We go full choke. Turn her on. We'll push the button. Woo, good sound. A little crack of the gas, get it through there. Woo! That good exhaust blowing out. Oh my gosh, guys. It smells so good. Wow. That really did. That pushed some good fuel. All right, here we go. Get that choke off. A little choke. Just give it about half choke. Oh, full choke. Full choke. She's burning. Now slowing down. Back off the choke. All right. I'm just going to take the choke off. Ooh. Ooh. She's purring. She's purring. There she goes. She's warming up. Choke's off. Just at idle. Oh yeah, got good exhaust coming out. That carb rebuild was everything. First time in 15 years she's ran like that. Woo! Look at this exhaust pumping out. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know if you like motorcycles. That's pretty good, guys. That's a good first run. So I'm gonna finish this bike up. I'm gonna get the tank on it and get the fuel lines and stuff run up for it, but it's in pretty good shape. Get the air box on it and see if that doesn't clean it up. But I think the carbs was the issue. Well, welcome back, guys. It's been a little bit since the last bit of video and you saw, and there's a couple things that have happened, so I'm gonna, instead of like doing a whole different thing, I'm just gonna add it to this video of working on this Sabre. It is together, you guys can see that, but between what you just saw and my recording right now, a lot has happened. There were some issues, and during that time, I went to Forgotten Angels. We had a great time there, and a lot of you I've met with while I was there and such, but Forgotten Angels came and went, got to play a little music, got to hang out with some pals, but I did not get to take the Sabre down to Florida. And there's a couple reasons for that. Now, we did a couple tests on it and kind of determined what were the problems it was having. It just wasn't running quite right. And I should point out that it was running. So I had it and I was running it around like locally and stuff, just like, you know, an hour or less kind of rides. And it was doing good, but then it just kind of deteriorated. It was starting to get worse and worse. I ended up replacing both coils. I replaced them both because one of them seemed to be going bad, so I just replaced them both. But I think the one that was going bad, which serves two of the cylinders on the bike, they were both, the spark plugs just didn't look right. So anyways, a lot of work went into that, and guys, I can only begin to tell you. You guys probably understand more than I do, but the rear cylinder covers two of the rear coil covers two of the cylinders. These top two right here, and the plugs were just lean. When you read them, it just looked like they were burning lean. So there was something up with it. I thought it was I was losing the cylinders, but I think it's just was running poorly on those cylinders, and it was getting worse. And right about then, it was time to go to Forgotten Angels. So I went. I took my pickup. Because regardless of what you ride, you should get there. And you know, I do own a pickup. I was gonna go, and I'm glad I did, because a hurricane blew up the East Coast, and it was rain all the way south. And then I had it was dry and it was pleasant in Florida, but then I turned around, came all the way north, rain the whole time. So if I had been on the bike, it would have been a miserable trip. It would have been difficult to film because there was so much rain. So here we are today. The bike seems to be running good. I think I got it all up to speed. I even adjusted the valves on it, so I did have the engine open during this time, so a lot has happened, and it's running good. And right now what I want to do is just take it for a little ride. I'm going to put you guys in the helmet and let you join me. Where are we riding to? A lot of you guys might not know, but I have a fishing charter business, and my boat has a couple batteries on it, and one of those batteries is fried, so I need to go get a new battery. So I'm gonna take the Sabre, gonna run into the shop. It's only about, I don't know, 20 minutes from me, but I have the battery, little hokey here, kind of set up funny, and I'm gonna go for a ride, give this bike a few miles, and just see how it runs. If I have any issue between here and the shop, I'm actually gonna be driving past and around places where I know I can kind of bail myself out if I have any issues. But yes, it is questionable. This bike is a little bit sketchy. It's a little bit old, kind of like we all are, me included. But I think it's ready. But we're gonna run it, put it through its paces a little bit, just see how it goes. So if you guys are still in the video this long, man, thank you, appreciate it. Do that. Check the sub, but let's go for a ride. I'm gonna put you in the helmet. Just shot myself in the foot talking for 5 minutes, but my cord, I must have bumped it when I put the helmet on. Anyway, welcome back. Look at the shimmy there. Oh, I hate that. So the front end of this bike has a wobble in it. I got to get rid of that. So it's very controllable. You can handle it and stuff, but it's something I want to fix before I take it on the long haul. So I have all winter to do that. It was the right call, guys. If I had taken this bike toward Florida, you know, it's about 1,000 miles. I think I probably would have made it about 100 or 200 miles, and the coil probably would have gave out on me, and that would have been the end of that trip. I would have had to turn around, and then I would have missed all of Forgotten Angels. So by taking the pickup truck, I kept myself from that disaster. We got down there. It rained like crazy on the way up and down, both directions, just poured rain. And that's because there was a hurricane coming up the East Coast. So I'm glad that I didn't take the motorcycle for more than one reason, but certainly this bike would not have made it. And I think I have it fixed-ish, so there's still some things I want to give it some attention. But, okay, this guy's just going to pull out. He's like, whatever, I got this. So, anyways, so not going down the East Coast with a bike that's only half running was the right choice. From what I understand, the coils, if you run them at a high RPM after the engine's warm, you'll really find out whether they're operated right or not. So you'll lose power in those cylinders, you know. There's the front end wobble. You see that? See it? It's terrible. So I have to address that too. That's right here on the stem bolt or whatever, the neck. So I'm gonna have, that's quite a job actually. This bike is not built to get to that bolt. So I'm thinking it's gonna be a little bit of trouble. I'm not sure. I've had the bars off, so it might not be as big a deal as I'm thinking, but ultimately I gotta address that. And I'm going to keep an eye on the compression as well. One of my cylinders was just a little bit low, and we were thinking that it might be piston rings, like just from the bike sitting so much. But we're going to give that a shot too. We'll pay attention to that, and that might be something to fix as well. I'm not sure though. But she's rolling. I put new tires on it, so it's got new skin. Did new wheel bearings, front and rear. So she's getting fixed. You know, there's all these little things that you want to think about with an older bike, and obviously she is rolling. So we're making progress. It's just it's not as fast as anybody would like it to be. So rear brakes are working, front brakes are working, and they seem to be really responsive too. So it's not like they're not operating like old brakes. They're working like new brakes. My rear suspension is something I want to check out too. This bike is equipped with an air suspension, and I think that it's not working at all. It just feels like I'm on springs. It doesn't feel like there's any shock to it. So it just kind of bounces back there. You get a little pogo effect. And it's really apparent right now because I got that battery on the back. And so it just really, it's like a hard pogo back there. I can really feel it. I can really tell. So I want to check the rear suspension of this, the air suspension on the rear of this. Something's up with it. So there's a few things to still do to get this bike in shape, and I'm on top of it though. The other thing is this plastic here. You guys see it's cracked right here. It was not cracked like that whenever I started riding it here. So this is a progressed cracking. And I had the leg fairings down here, or whatever they're called, the bibs, the aprons, whatever, they're down here on my shins, but they were cracking as well. So I got them on and I got them mounted, and they were almost immediately starting to crack. So the plastic itself is just brittle because it's old, and these bikes are notorious for that. See, it's cracked on this side too, right here. There's the wobble again. I think maybe that wobble's worse than I'm giving it credit for. I'm trying to downplay it, but it's probably worse than I think. So it might just be a low speed bike until I get all these things addressed. There we go. But from what I can tell, the lights all seem to work, like the electronics, the console, all seems to be working. It had no power when you got into the higher end of the RPM range, you know. Right up to 6,000 RPMs, and it was smooth. Like, it didn't show any signs of what it was doing, so that felt pretty good. I don't want to push it too hard while I'm out here. I'm keeping everything low speed, and I certainly don't want to challenge myself while I have a, you know, 60-pound battery sitting on the back here, strapped on with ratchet straps. Why is it that when we get on Hondas, we start doing sketchy Honda stuff? My father'd be proud. Motorcycle that takes 5 keys. I can't even remember which key's which. I think it's a little ridiculous. I think it's this one. There we go. Yeah, I mean, plenty of fuel in there. It's splashing around and stuff, so no doubt. I'm sure I just didn't plug it back in, because, you know, why would you plug it in after you're done putting it back together? Wrong one. 4 keys, not 5 keys. This bike has 4 keys, guys. Why? Oh, what I have? Kill switch was on. For a minute I was worried. I did see this. My brake light probably isn't coming on. Fat fingers. There it goes. Now the brake light turns on. But that's her in all her glory. It's a 1985 Honda Sabre 1100 V65. or the vf1100 Honda Sabre from 1985. So it's a cool bike, looks good. The battery looks great on the back seat. She's running good. I wanted to point out too, my brother made, well, I made them, but he tack welded these inserts in. The baffles, the old owner, he was telling me that they rusted out when he was riding up to Erie, and so one just rusted out and fell out, so he just kicked the other one out. But they look good now. It's made it sound a lot better too, and I think it probably helps with the performance. Nonetheless, let's get rolling. No reason to sit here and linger. When I get back, I'll pull the seat off and find that plug, get that plug put back in. So this bike right now, it has new plugs in it, and of course all the stuff that I did to it, but with the coils. But on top of that, I put new plugs in as well. I want to be able to read the plugs, so I might just go straight across here. Good sounding bike though. I think it's a good engine, and I think it's just going to get better as I work on it. And I'm excited to have this bike too, because it's got such a cool history, and of course because it was a gift, it's fun to run with, and it's a great model. And you know, if you're a member of the Forgotten Angels family like I am, you might remember this model because Shade Tree did a repair of it. They did a giveaway of the same model of bike, so it's kind of neat to have one. And it's a Honda, it's a good solid engine, so I think I can get this thing going, and even if I have issues, I can probably repair it and keep it rolling. That big fairing on the front though, that plastic, being that it's an aged plastic and it's already starting to crack in some places, I mean, I can do a little bit of fiberglass work and see if I can restore it, so to speak. It's a little hard to do that in the winter because of temperatures. I don't have an indoor facility where I can heat up and, you know, work with chemicals and stuff. But if it comes down to it, like in the summer, I could do some fiberglass work on the plastics and just kind of get them all back into shape so that I can use them. But I guess it's just a cool bike to have, and it's going to be a bit of a project, because really anything that's aged, anything that's a little bit old, you're going to have to wrench on it a little bit. And I know it's not popular in the motorcycle world anymore, but I don't mind wrenching on bikes. I think that that's one of those big things that's really missing, is just garage time. And garage time is really good. You get to hang out with your pals, eat some pizza, wrench on some machines, and then you get to enjoy the ride afterwards. I'm really feeling the rear suspension of this bike right now. It's just really boom, 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 boom. It's really pogo-y, as you might say. At some point the GoPro died on me there. Whatever, I just rode home. So we made it back, and it does seem like the bike's running pretty good. So we'll hope that that's an accurate diagnosis. You guys see what I'm doing? Trying to do this one-handed. So cool. Seems like it's running good, and on top of that, I got my battery for the boat. So two birds with one stone, so they say. And I'm gonna get this battery into the boat, and I'm gonna let that be the video, because my objective here was just to show you the first start. And what started there, what was it, October? Is it October? Is that what I referenced in the first video? I think so. Anyway, it is now November 7th. So November 7th, it seems to be running actually good. So it took some doing, but she's here in this current condition, whatever that means. So I'll keep running it for the next couple weeks, and here over the winter I'll make sure I stay on top of it, take it out when I can. In Pennsylvania, like today, it's about 50 degrees. That's why you see me out in the full get up and full face and everything. But here in Pennsylvania, you really don't have the option to just go whenever you want to go. And of course, we got to choose the days. Your fingers get numbed to the point to where you can't function the clutch. It's probably not a good idea to ride on those days. So, but I'll keep after it here over the winter, and I'll see if I can't get it running smooth and predictably smooth, so that I'm confident in it, that it's reliable. And if everything goes good with that here in the spring, I'll see you guys in Florida at the Forgotten Angels camp out in the spring. Link down below. And that's it. That's first start on the Honda Sabre vf1100. I think we're gonna have fun on this bike, guys. All right. Much love, much respect.